The lion does not wake up asking the jungle for permission to exist. He does not bow to the elephant's size, the cheetah's speed, or the hyena's numbers. He rises with one truth in his blood: he is the king. That is not arrogance, it is mentality. The lion is not the biggest, the fastest, or the strongest creature in the wild, yet he owns the crown because of the way he thinks. His confidence shapes the way the entire jungle reacts to him. When the lion walks, animals step aside. When the lion roars, silence falls. Why? Not because of his size, but because of his belief. His mindset commands respect before his actions even begin. That is what separates the lion from every other beast. And that is what separates winners from losers in life. You don't need to be born with advantages, talents, or perfect circumstances. You don't need the biggest muscles or the richest background. You need mentality. You need the belief that you were born to lead, not to follow. Most people spend their lives asking for permission to dream, to act, to speak, to stand tall. But lions don't wait. They claim their ground. They step into the arena without apology. They understand that the world will never hand you a crown, you have to take it. You have to decide, deep in your soul, that you will no longer live like prey. Because once your mindset changes, everything changes. The jungle is full of stronger and faster animals, yet they live in fear. The lion doesn't. And that is the difference between existing and dominating. When you think like a lion, you stop being trapped by doubts, opinions, and excuses. You stop moving like a sheep and start carrying yourself like a king. The truth is, leadership doesn't start when the world recognizes you. It starts the moment you recognize yourself. The lion's mentality is built long before the crown rests on his head. It begins in his spirit. It begins in his walk, his silence, his gaze. You don't need applause to know who you are. You don't need validation to rise. Stop waiting for others to crown you. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop waiting for someone to give you the green light. You are the lion, you are the green light. Understand this, the lion mentality is not about being the strongest, it's about being the lion does not run when the storm comes. He does not hide, he does not tremble, he does not scatter into the shadows. He stands tall, eyes forward, chest out, ready to face whatever nature throws at him. That is what defines the lion mentality, not the absence of fear, but the refusal to bow to it. Fear is not your enemy, submission is. The jungle is merciless, storms are violent, life is brutal, but the lion moves through it with unshakable certainty. And this is where most people fail. When hardship strikes, they crumble. When rejection hits, they hide. When pain knocks, they retreat. But lions do the opposite, they advance. They move toward the challenge because they know storms are not sent to destroy them, but to reveal their strength. Life will test you with storms, failure that crushes your pride, heartbreak that rips your soul apart, betrayal that makes you question everything. But here's the truth, no storm lasts forever. And when it passes, the question is simple. Did you stand like a lion, or did you hide like prey? Every storm you face is an invitation to grow, to harden your spirit, to sharpen your claws. The lion mentality is forged in the storm, not in comfort. You cannot build resilience under sunshine. You cannot discover your true strength in calm waters. The lion becomes the king not because his life was easy, but because he faced storms head-on, again and again, until fear itself bowed before him. Understand this, courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is action in spite of fear. The lion feels the danger, senses the risk, but still steps forward. And that is the mentality you need. Too many people wait until they feel ready to chase their dreams, until the fear is gone, until the conditions are perfect. But perfection never comes. The fear never completely disappears. The lion doesn't wait for comfort, he moves in chaos. That's the secret. You don't wait until you're fearless to act. You act, and through action, you become fearless. Every storm is a chance to prove to yourself that you are more than your doubts. And here's the beauty: when you stop running, fear loses its grip. When you face the storm, you grow wings you never knew you had. The lion is respected not because he never faced danger, but because he refused to run from it. The jungle bows to him because he embodies what it means to be unbreakable. If you want to live with the lion mentality, you must step into the storms of your life and face them with unshaken. The lion doesn't hunt because he feels like it. He doesn't wait to be motivated. He doesn't need hype, applause, or a sudden spark of inspiration. He hunts because it is in his nature, because his survival and the survival of his pride depend on it. That's the difference between a lion and the rest of the animals. The lion is driven by discipline, not emotion. And this is where most people fail. They live their lives chained to the illusion of motivation. They wait for that right moment, for that sudden rush of energy, for that one perfect day where they feel unstoppable. But that day rarely comes. And when it does, it vanishes quickly. Motivation is a visitor. It knocks, excites you, then disappears. But discipline? Discipline is permanent. Discipline is a resident. Discipline is the backbone of greatness. Look at the lion's routine. He doesn't hunt once and relax. He doesn't eat once and believe the jungle owes him comfort. Every single day is a grind. The lion knows that one moment of laziness could mean death for his pride. And that is the mentality you must carry into your life. You cannot rise to greatness by chasing moods. You cannot build an empire by waiting until you feel ready. Discipline is what separates the unstoppable from the average. Anyone can move when they feel like it. The weak rely on moods. The strong rely on discipline. That's why lions dominate. That's why leaders rise. You see, the problem with most people is that they confuse motivation with commitment. Motivation is easy, it comes when you watch a video, listen to a speech, or read an inspiring quote. But commitment? Commitment is hard. Commitment means doing the work when you're tired, when you're broken, when the last thing you want is to move. Commitment means hunting when you're hungry and hunting even when you're full. The lion hunts not because he is excited but because it is who he is. His identity drives his actions, not his feelings. And that is the secret. When discipline becomes your identity, you no longer depend on fleeting sparks, you burn with a permanent fire. Stop asking yourself, do I feel like it today? That question is for prey. That question is for the weak. The lion mentality says, it doesn't matter how I feel. This is what must be done. This is who I am. Discipline is not punishment, it is freedom. A lion does not live only for himself. He carries the weight of his pride, the family that depends on him, the cubs that look up to him, the lionesses that trust him to defend their ground. His strength is not measured only in his ability to hunt or fight, but in his responsibility to protect and provide. That is the essence of the lion mentality. It is not selfish ambition, it is selfless leadership. Too many people think success is about standing alone at the top, holding the crown, and looking down on others. But real kings don't stand alone. Real kings rise for those who need them, fight for those who cannot fight for themselves, and protect what matters with every ounce of blood in their body. The lion is feared because of his power, but he is respected because of his loyalty. That's the mindset most people lack today. They chase individual victories, but they forget their responsibility to their pride. In life, your pride may not be a pack of lions. It may be your family, your children, your loved ones, or even the people who believe in you when the world doesn't. The lion mentality demands that you rise not just for yourself, but for them. You don't have the luxury to quit when others depend on you. You don't have the right to fold when your strength is their shelter. When you adopt the lion mentality, every decision you make, every step you take, is not just about your survival, it's about the survival and growth of everyone connected to you. That weight, that responsibility, is what forges true leaders. Weak men run when things get tough. Lions stay. Weak men think only about their own comfort. Lions think about the pride. And here's the truth, when you rise for others, you become stronger yourself. Responsibility builds warriors. Loyalty sharpens discipline. Sacrifice carves kings. A lion cannot claim to be a king if he abandons his pride when danger comes. The jungle does not respect a lion who runs alone while his pride suffers. In the same way, life will not respect you if you abandon your responsibilities in pursuit of selfish dreams. The lion mentality demands balance. Yes, you rise, yes, you conquer, but you also protect, provide, and lead. That is what makes you unforgettable. Understand this, true strength is not in domination, but in protection. True leadership is not in control, but in sacrifice. The lion may stand at the front, but his greatest power lies in how he carries those behind him. When you live with the lion mentality, you are unshakable because you know you're not fighting only for yourself, you're fighting for something bigger. The lion's roar is not just sound, it is a declaration. It shakes the jungle, echoes across the land, and announces his presence with authority. That roar is not about volume, it's about legacy. Long after the echo fades, the memory of it remains. And that is exactly how life should be lived. Most people pass through this world quietly, afraid to disturb, afraid to be noticed, afraid to stand tall. They whisper their dreams, they hide their potential, they live small because they fear judgment. But lions are remembered because they roar. The lion mentality is about living in such a way that your presence is felt, your actions are remembered, and your impact outlives your body. It's about building a legacy that cannot be erased by time. What will your roar be? What will you leave behind when your final day comes? The truth is, every single day of your life, you are writing your legacy. Every choice, every sacrifice, every battle you fight is shaping what people will remember about you. Will they say you lived safe, quiet, invisible? Or will they say you lived loud, fearless, and unshakable? The lion does not live to be liked. He does not live to blend in. He lives to lead, to dominate, to leave his mark. And you must do the same. Stop living like prey. Stop dimming your light. Stop pretending you are ordinary when you were born extraordinary. The jungle does not remember the sheep, it remembers the lion. Legacy is not about money. Legacy is not about trophies. Legacy is about the impact you make, the lives you change, the strength you show when others break. The lion's roar is a symbol of courage, authority, and power. Your roar is your grind, your discipline, your courage, your refusal to quit when everything is against you. One day, when you are gone, no one will remember the excuses you made, the fears you obeyed, or the comfort you chased. They will remember the battles you fought, the storms you faced, and the roar you left behind. Understand this. Death comes for all of us. But legacy is a choice. Most people die twice, once when they stop breathing, and once when their name is spoken for the last time. But lions? Lions live forever. Their roar echoes even when they are gone. If you live with the lion mentality, if you refuse to quit, if you rise every time you fall, then your roar will outlive you. And that is true immortality,